Who is that suave-looking guy kicking about on the thumbnail? We're going to go into it, don't you worry. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. My name is Anton, of course. Hope you are well. We may have a couple of guests joining us. We're not too sure, depending on circumstances at home. So keep your eyes on that. We may get them coming on. But anyway, keep your comments coming in. But there's a suave-looking guy kicking about. Just came out of the woodwork. Out of nowhere, out of absolute nowhere, and it's things I love to see. When I say things I love to see, I'm referencing the fact that nobody knew about it, and this is the new West Ham, which is what I'm starting to like. So the person you see, the suave-looking man, depending if you want to call him suave, it's up to you, is the Czech billionaire, Daniel Kretinsky, who is considering the purchase or to purchase a minority stake in West Ham, our beloved club West Ham. He is 46 years old, and he's also known as the Czech Sphinx because of his instructable investment style. And he's expected to buy, yes, 27% of West Ham initially, but he may eventually take a majority stake at a later date. Now, let me put this straight. This is reports are suggesting. I am not sitting here playing the ITK because I am absolutely so far from it. It is a complete and utter joke. However, reports are suggesting that this man is really close to getting the deal done. The deal, which apparently has been months in the making, would therefore spell the beginning of the end of West Ham's so-called GSB era. A reference to our owners, of course, Gold, Sullivan, and Vice Chair Karen Brady. And there is the image for yous right there. They've controlled the club, of course, since 2010. So the staged nature of the proposed deal was understood to be linked to a clause in the club's agreement with our ultimate landlords, who are the London Stadium, the London Legacy Development Corporation, which says that Gold and Sullivan must pay a percentage of any profit they make on a sale of the club to London's taxpayers. This would be worked out on a sliding scale with no tax liable if the club went for less than 125 million, but 20% of anything over 300 million. The clause then expires in March 2023. So Kretinsky's planned investment is understood to value the club in the region of £600 million, significantly more than the supposed two bids Gold and Sullivan received from PAI Capital. Remember them? A group headed by London-based Azeri businessman Nasib Piriev back in the summer. And their plan was to buy the entire club and then renegotiate its long-term lease at the London Stadium to gain full control of the multi-purpose venue, which of course was built for the 2012 Olympics. So Sullivan, who owns 51.5% of West Ham shares, rejected PAI's bid, saying that they were greatly undervalued by the bids were greatly undervalued the club. He didn't deny that West Ham had been on the market for at least a year with an asking price of £650 million, more than double what that Saudi lot bought, the consortium who bought Newcastle United. So I've got more to talk about, but I just want to hear your thoughts on these guys in particular. I'm going to come into the chat and see who's kicking about, and we'll go into the rest of the chat. How much will this increase our budget by? I wonder if I should finish the conversation and then we'll go into the chat. Actually, yeah, because it makes sense. It'll add more drama to the situation as we go along. So Kretinsky's first started his professional career as a lawyer before becoming an official partner for J&T in 2003. And just a year later, he would begin his climb to control Sparta Prague as chairman, where he now is a majority shareholder at the club. So as we know, West Ham are co-owned by Sullivan and Gold. Sullivan has the higher percentage. Gold has 35%, 35.1%. And of course, we know the vice chairman, Karen Brady, she has a key role in running the club. However, Kretinsky is said to be planning to then become the majority shareholder, meaning he'd become the decision maker at the club eventually. So EPH, which, excuse my pronunciation here, is Energetike Průmyslový Holding, is the biggest energy group in Central Europe. The company, this is who this potential new investor for West Ham owns, was founded in 2019. It employs more than 25,000 people. It distributes and supplies electricity as well as provided gas, storage, and transmission. To cut a long story short, they buy old coal power plants and mines from struggling players and betting on increasing electricity prices. It compromises of 50, the whole brand, the whole organization compromises of 50 different companies. So what do we know about Kretinsky? Let's take a little look at Kretinsky. He is the 705th richest billionaire in the Forbes list. So 705th. He has a net worth of $4 billion. Obviously, that's a drop in the ocean in comparison to what Newcastle are, but it's still up there. In May 2020, Kretinsky bought a 5% stake in the UK postal firm Royal Mail and a 5% stake in struggling US department store chain Macy's. He also has stakes in the French newspaper Le Monde and German retail giant Metro AG. This guy is everywhere, literally. He is everywhere. And like I said, he's 46 years old and he's the CEO of the Czech energy company EPH. He's also a large shareholder of American sportswear company Foot Locker. So, like I said, he's got the big stakes in the Royal Mail. He's involved with Sainsbury's. I don't know if I mentioned that as well. But apparently, this deal could go and happen as close as coming up to the first weekend in November when West Ham play Liverpool. And they expect the deal to potentially be concluded with the aim that he may eventually take over the club full-time on a full level, with the option to purchase the club and take full control of West Ham. His initial stake purchase is likely to value the club between 600 and 700 million pounds. And if he does proceed to take full control of West Ham, it would end the decade-long association with Moyes, Gold, Sullivan, and Brady. Any money received from the new investor, though, if he does come in and take over 27%, any money received from the new investor would be reinvested back into the club to help pay off any debts and inject much-needed funds to plug the hole after the pandemic. So what I don't think will happen is that if any investor does come into this club at the standard that what we're talking about here, 27%, not a majority shareholder, then it looks like that there won't be, it's not investment really massively going into the squad. It's to cover a lot of the problems that are within the club. Like I mentioned, they're paying off debts, inject much needed funds into the areas where I'm plugging the holes from the pandemic. But then the aim is that he could be striking a deal to try and purchase the club full time. So let's jump into the comments and see what everyone's saying, and we'll answer as many questions as we can. Liam DA is saying, how much will he increase our budget by? There's the reason why I wanted to talk. I don't think this is going to increase our budget, but I'm not sure that I don't doubt Edger would like to have money in his pocket to spend, a transfer budget to spend. I do not doubt that for 1 second at all. However, Moyes, as we know, will not just spend money for the sake of it. So he's going to be looking really, really closely at what kind of players he does. And money will help investment into the club with regards to the training ground, with regards to the facilities and all that sort of stuff. And it's got to start somewhere. But I think people And fans, and me in particular, and anyone else who's thinking that immediately if we get a takeover, off we go and we're going to go and start signing Mbappes of the world. It's not happening. It's not happening. That's definitely changed. Pete is saying, would Moyes spend the extra cash though? His decisions on transfers have been good so far. They absolutely have. We've got to keep backing his decision that he's been doing all along. James Farmer saying, key thing for me is it stops people like PAI coming in and using us as leverage and saddle us with the debt further down the road. This is the interesting thing though, James. I think what we do know is the club have been on the market, floating around the market for the last year. We've had several people out there, and it maybe sounds like PAI got a bit pissed off and jumped the gun with their options and probably went about it the wrong way. They certainly didn't get many fans, certainly didn't get many of the West Ham fans on their side. Or what I should reiterate to say is many of the West Ham fans that I knew, I didn't like their approach to how they were trying to take over the club. And I didn't actually enjoy what their remit from all the information they gave to us it didn't read well to me. Now, we don't know what the remit is for this guy. We don't know what his future plans are. If he is, and again, like I said, this is all reported. However, he has got $4 billion worth of net. Like that's what he's worth, and he's got experience of running a football club with Sparta Prague. So he's got the footballing knowledge. It's got the Czech connection as well. I'm not going to say Agent Souček's been working on this. I don't doubt for a second there's other investors kicking about. But what I found really interesting is this one was fed through a reputable reporter who's reported this, who's dug a little bit deeper, and is pretty confident this could be done. Not taking over the club, but a 27% investment into West Ham by the first week of November. So within the next couple of weeks, the deal could be done. Frank Butcher says, is this new owner buys a club? It will be the checkmate for Gold and Sullivan. You got this. Bernie is saying, good evening, everyone. Well, it comes down to what GSB do, but I cannot at this point say I support or not this happening, as we have very little information on it. You're right, Bernie. But then at the end of the day, what information have we had in the past from previous owners that have bought the club? That's all I'm going to say, because I'm not too sure what information we got when Icelandics came in and took over. It was just all talk. What Gold and Sullivan did, it was just all talk. I think we've been scarred so many times, so what information are we going to be looking for? If this deal does go through, looking into the history of this guy, he doesn't look as potentially dodgy as the PAI system at all, nowhere near it. And the fact that he's running a current football club, a successful-ish football club in the Czech Republic. Frank Butcher, David Gomes sold Bernie is saying not too keen on smelling that Frank. David Fitzpatrick, PI probably won't absorb the financial penalties if they sold outright before 2023. Seems this is a statement of intent towards the future. Absolutely. So if this deal does go through for 27%, then they've got our future buyer. I would be surprised if this guy didn't take this deal. If this deal is on the cards and there's no other investors around, if it's this guy and this guy alone, then it looks like he could be the future owner of West Ham. I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. But there is some faith restored. I'm talking minuscule faith in the situation with Gold and Sullivan in terms of not just selling to the first person that comes along, i.e. PAI, because I wasn't impressed with them. And I didn't want to, what is it they say? Jump from the frying pan into the fire. I didn't want that for West Ham fans. Good evening, fellow Hammers from Father Snowman. Reese is in the house. Hope you're well. Pete Chapman, thank you again. Andy Pepper, good evening all. Good to see you. That guy looks evil. Hope he's not. I hope he's not as well. Just won Europa League with West Ham and a new football manager. In essence, we are absolutely massive. We are massive, mate. We're not in essence. It's facts. James Bond, good evening all you winners. Absolutely. Howard Ailes, evening all. Come on, you irons. Smeagol 316, unlimited supply of potato salad coming to the London Stadium. Mandy G, it's Clark Kent. Yeah, absolutely. This is the first I'm hearing of it. Dan, mate, come on. Mandy G, hi everyone, hope you're well. Gaza, hi Anton, hope you're okay. P Gads, I heard he made his money. I can't repeat that. Hi Mandy G, how are you? Clive, hope you're well, mate. Mandy G, great, thanks. Pat Mahone, hi everybody, peeps, hope you're well. Sly Rayan, that's the way to buy a club. No media or try to get leverage from fans. If this deal does go through, I would rather it be the way it's been done. I'd rather it be concluded very quickly. And I don't want our name dragged through the mud. I don't think we can afford as a club to be dragged through the mud and behind the scenes, because everyone in the club, i.e. Moyes, the team, the coaching staff, are all doing the job that they've been brought in to do. So we don't need any distractions from that. That's the key thing. This deal goes through, let it go through quietly. You're not playing the ITK. You're not still. No, absolutely not. Jamie Betts is saying, even though all I'm trying to do is just bring you as much information as I can. Whose shares is he buying? Well, what we understand is from obviously the chat that's been going on, we've got Sullivan that owns, let me just get this back up again for you, 55 as the majority shareholder. Let me just get this. So we've got David Sullivan on 51.5% ownership. My understanding is that Gold has 35.1%, and then you've got the other American investors. So that's what, 85, 86, 87%, leaving 13, 14%, etc. So you can still be a majority shareholder if you give away some of your percentage. So we don't know who it is. There's not a huge amount of information about it. Liam DA, it's all going West Ham's way at the moment. Absolutely, mate. Hi, Pete. All talking to each other. Mandy G, Golds, apparently. I can't see it being all of Golds. I don't think it will be all of Golds. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a lot of Golds, but there is still the other investment there. Park is saying you have a good team, guys. I'm sure they'll have their words in this season. Alfie, even all, hope you're well. Neil is chilling with some vodka. David Fitzpatrick's following Suchek's potato salad, no doubt. Sheena, oi, still hyped about the game. Night. Absolutely. Robert Singleton, good information, Anton. It's as much information I think that's needed just now. We will go probably a little bit more in depth moving forward, but it will need to happen. Ronda and Tony Tanti, sounds like he has a proven record of football management. He doesn't have a shocking human rights background. A yes from me. Gaza saying a 27%, 7% share sell-off would mean roughly 150 million and 189 million in the kitty. I don't think West Ham would have that money in the kitty, Gaza, to be honest, because they have said they're going to be potentially covering all their backs for the hole that was being created from the pandemic and the debt that West Ham have currently got ourselves into. So I think we would expect that money to be invested into those debts with the aim that this potential guy would become West Ham's eventual owner. Looks like a percentage man rather than a takeover. I don't know, Mandy G. I don't know. He's got a heavy amount of investment, £4 billion pounds. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. David Brooks, do we know if he's intended to actually invest in the club though? Well, how do you look at it? I mean, I don't know how you look at it. 27% of depends on what the club's valued at. It could be investing anything between 150 to just under 200 million pounds. Why are you investing that amount of money into a club? That's what I want to know. If you're not potentially intending to buy the club, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, especially on the fact it's based upon the price that West Ham are currently valued at. Andy Pepper, I guess we need to move forward as a club. We're not going to need more financial oomph to keep up with the crowd. So at some point, we'll have to jump in at some point. Yep, absolutely. West Ham, Isle of Man, his girlfriend, dad was the richest person in his country, died in a helicopter crash. Didn't know that, actually. Did not know that. Mandy G, so Gold loses his money again. We don't know the final details or what potentially is going to happen. It's all reports are suggesting. Tommy Eggleton, as long as he don't change our management and staff at the club, yeah, and that's why I think right now it's if this deal was to go through, it's the right deal rather than a big takeover. What I've read about him, he's not shy when it comes to investing. I don't think it is, but I don't think immediately he's going to invest. He's not the majority shareholder. He's not the decision maker. This is a potential deal where he eventually would become the owner eventually. I agree, especially since Gold and Sullivan haven't shown a willingness to do so. Let's hope he wants to invest in the squad. But again, it does go back to one of the earlier questions that someone brought in here. Like, what investment No doubts at all. No doubts at all. Any club needs investment. But you put £100 million or 120, £150 million in front of David Moyes. What do you add right now that would walk in that team? I'm not saying it wouldn't. I'm just saying who. 27% now, controlling stake in 2023. Absolutely. Dan, we're all aware of the debt, so these investors are needed big time. Absolutely. But this is a big investment, mate. 27% valued on the club at potentially anything between £600 to £700 million. It's a lot of money. Pat says he pays off the loan to G&S, and there are annual profits increase, meaning we can legitimately bid higher for certain players. We can, but who? Mark Alexander, even though, hope you're well. He says if this has been going on for months, it's been agreed while PAI were pissing around and causing trouble. And that's maybe why they were doing it. Maybe they, again, it's all assumptions here, but maybe they were pissed off and maybe they didn't like the way that these deals were going on. And maybe they spat the dummy out and decided to go public, but just didn't like their approach. Really didn't like their approach. Matty G says that will dilute the current shareholders, meaning his new investment will benefit them as well as the club. I think it's always going to be in investment. Sky Sports have reported this. They have in Sky News and loads of other places have reported it as well. Tommy Eggleton, hope he brings our old badge back. I mean, that's for another debate. Potentially wait until 2023 to take over. Less tax. Yep. Epic hashtag this Czech guy is also implicated for tax evasion on the Panama Papers and apparently has legal troubles after his waste management company dumped toxic waste in the woods. Interesting. Need to look into that. Yes, he did. Mubama, the young talented striker, has signed his first professional contract. I understand Sparta Prague did not do it as well under the past 5 years with this billionaire. Yes, I've read, I think they've won, is it 4 or 5 out of the last 13, 14 years. However, it's a whole new ballgame when you come to the Czech League, from Czech League to the Premier League, with the amount of investment that comes in from the Premier League. And, it doesn't always mean that an investor, it doesn't mean that it's going to turn things around in the right way. That's why when it comes to Newcastle, the owners of current Newcastle setup are saying hardcore, it's not going to change overnight. So bear with us, it's not going to change overnight. Graham Lindsay, finally someone that sees our potential and hopefully he will eventually take us forward to even greater success. Dan is saying these Czech links may pay off on the pitch. You reckon we could get the Czech under 23 striker Eric? I might call that a minute later, guys. Banner goals in the Czech league. I don't want to say things. I don't know if people are trying to catch me out here. Up the Czechs. Howard Ailes, Epic, you don't get 4 billion net worth without not paying your taxes. And he's self-proclaimed billionaire as well. Martin Barrett, riding high in the league and now talk of substantial new investment. Very exciting for the club and the fans. Epic is saying, I've heard Sparta fans say that their club was a regular competitor in the Champions League before this guy's bought the club. 15 years later, they've won 3 titles and haven't qualified for the Champions League once. But does that fall upon the owner, the investment? It's a different league. Mandy G saying, how do we know he'll invest? We don't. It's just all based upon reports. The question I'm asking to you is, based upon what I've said and based upon what you've looked at, are you potentially happy with this potential deal going through? Do you think David? Yeah, of course he will. Trevor, yeah, 100%. But you'd be absolutely off your rocker if you were to consider getting rid of David Moyes. Clive, you better keep Moyes if this happens. I see mass demonstrations if he outs him. Yep. Liam the Ace guy said at the beginning of the next week is when the deal should be announced. What do you think if the deal is announced? That it is announced next week and it goes through the pipeline really quietly and no one really knew about it? What do you think? Steve WHU Bell, what a brilliant couple of weeks. Great times to be a hammer. Jason Mortimer, what a time to be a hammer. We've been through tough, enough crap. About time we had a bit of fortune. Gaza says, we'll make sure Moyes stays. Mark Alexander, billionaire investor, unbeaten in Europe. Beat the Manchesters. Stadium expansion. Investing in youth. Am I dreaming? You are not, mate. We are massive. Good evening, mate Balota. Ethan, so what's actually happening? How much are you going to invest? The rumour is, based upon West Ham's valuation of anything between £600 and £700 million, that he's going to invest 27% of that value. I believe and we understand if that value does come in, it goes straight in to debt and propping up the club after the pandemic. I don't think we'll see immediate investment into the club because he's not a majority owner of the club. He's not a decision maker, but it's potentially one that will be in the future. Oh gosh, Sullivan won't sell any of his shares as he wants majority control. Can't risk being voted out, and he won't do that just now. Absolutely. Mandy G says we did invest in Zoom and Vlasic this year despite losing money during COVID. Are JSB doing that bad a job now? No, I don't think it is, but I think it's inevitable that they are going to go. Age, situation with the club, the value of the club, and the amount of money that they're going to make back from that. They're protecting their asset and they're going to protect themselves from doing that. I don't think in 5 years' time it will be Gold and Sullivan. I think people are just trying to jump the gun and say they need to go now, when in actual fact, I think they will go on their own accord. I think it'll be another 2 years before they do. James is saying all the money will go into the rushed green development. 2 up, 2 down. Hammer's question is how much is he invested in Sparta Prague? It's a good question, but I don't know if we have that answer. Let me see here. I don't know if we really know that answer. But we can try and find out. 27% is a down payment until 2023. Absolutely. Let me see. I'm just trying to see if there's any kind of chat about where they are currently, but I'll maybe jump on. Gaza saying they're saying this deal will be done when we play Liverpool. Absolutely. Hi all. Just hope it all works out for us. Okay for us. Jonathan Boyce, standard business practice, but know when the club sales in 2 years he makes 20% return, and we know the percentage has been out for a while. Absolutely. Can we buy a stadium, or is that not possible? Anything's possible with that stadium because it's losing money left, right, and centre. From the network chat room from the US. Fresh fielder, can't see any massive signs all of a sudden. Our direction is already good, but how will this financial clout help? Like I said, Fresh, I think it's going into propping up the club to get us potentially debt free, and there's probably a clause in this. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Bernie, he sounds like an international investor in both East and Western Europe. He sounds like he has a plan, and what he wants to do is people do not do this unless he has a financial plan. They absolutely do not, mate. Robert says, will he pass a fit and proper person test? Anyone with 30% shares in a club needs to pass the test. Is this the reason it's only 27% is being bought? Who knows, Robert? Who absolutely knows? Liam DA, I think we should have our old badge, but it should just be claret and blue, no yellow. Apparently the deal has already been agreed. Better a Czech billionaire than a Saudi. Yeah, absolutely. West Ham, Isle of Man. Now, listen, I was reading something about said person, so let me have a look at his situation. Here we are here. Where is their founder and shareholder? Okay, so she's the daughter. Okay. She's the daughter of. So this guy's owner is the daughter of Peter Kellner, who died back in March 2021, was a Czech billionaire entrepreneur, founder and majority shareholder of the PPF Group. At the time of his death, he had an estimated net worth of 17.5 billion. 17.5 billion pounds. Wowzers, dollars, I should say. David Moyes doesn't need massive cash injection to find superstars. He just needs trust. Shame he has used a placeholder for Pellegrini. Nail on the head. Matty, Czech Republic is a communist country from where you brought the money. Alfie, we got to think he's worth $4 billion, but how much is he going to spend? Maybe fortunes ain't always hiding. Greetings from Prague. Kevin, let us know if you're in the chat what this is all about. Justin Maybin got to also make sure the backroom staff stay as well. Ethan, thank you. Love the videos. Thank you very much for joining us. So many comments. It's great. It's great. I'll go for them. He was only a part shareholder in Sparta, so bad, no choice in their success. This is a pure investment return play. Can see them going before 2023. He has 40% in Sparta Prague. West Ham is the best era since 60s. Good vibes, even if the USCL candidate. Thank you for coming and joining us, Wolves. I think it will make no difference. The real question who's sniffing around in the wings is a 2023 buy. I agree with you, but the guy is the guy can afford to buy the club and could afford to invest in the club. I think if this deal does go through, I wouldn't be surprised if he was part of the official takeover when it does happen. I don't think this guy's coming in here just to slowly invest and all that sort of stuff. Not sure. Steve Irons just arrived. Come on, you Irons. I'm loving it. Connor Matthews says Sparta Prague are third in their league, unbeaten in only 5 league games. Ethan is saying, come on, you Irons, Carabao Cup, Europa League, FA Cup coming this season. Mate, below to Slavia Prague is the biggest club than Sparta Prague. Sufal, Suchek, Kroll, all from Slavia Prague. Jonathan saying, also wired side, not that I could help, but take a step back, seeing as it's a massive stadium when we played in Europe. Thinking the team must think we massive clue. Look at the size of to the stadium. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Jonathan. Pat, we are massive, must go on a diet. No, let's not go on a diet. It would make no sense. So Sullivan don't have to pay dividends on the stadium. Jonathan saying also Billings' net worth and the same as Billions on hand to spend. JJ Smith is saying, been doing some independent research. This guy's proper, respectable, really top-notch man. Yep, absolutely. I mean, he looks like the real deal. He really does. If your name is Bubbles, stay away from any West Ham fans. Thank you, Ethan. So this is first up view. So is the first up view that this is positive for West Ham? I think it's a positive move because maybe, well, of course it is. If he's going to invest the amount of money he is, it's going to prop up the club and fill that gap. Then, and he's a respectable businessman. Then, yeah, why would it not be? Absolutely. Will they name us West Ham Czech United? West Czech United? You never know. So there you go. There's some little bit of knowledge on our potential new investors at West Ham. What do you think? I mean, reports are suggesting this is going to happen soon. Reports are suggesting this is going to happen very, very, very soon. I'm not so sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Like I said to you earlier on, he's 46 years old. He's 705th in the Forbes Billionaire list. And he currently has a major shareholder in Sparta Prague in the Czech Republic. He is looking to oust the GSB team, who obviously have been running West Ham for the last 10 years. And I don't think things are great on the field, but we definitely don't want things to change that and to have a negative impact on that. So Daniel Kretinsky, will he be West Ham's future? Who knows? I'm not too sure. If you are new around here, because there's a lot of people in the chat, please go and subscribe to the channel. I swear to God, we're only 26 away from hitting 9K. We're only 26 people away from hitting 9K. So all we need to do is, if there's 26 of you right now that haven't subscribed to this channel, go and do it right now and get us to the 9K marker, please, because that leaves us 2 solid months to go and get 1,000 subscribers to hit the 10K marker. That's the challenge, the 10K marker. So please go and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you are new around here, also we do a tier program. There is a link I've put in the chat. So if you are interested in becoming a member of our channel, click the link I've put in the chat and look at all our tier processes as well. Really cool stuff that we do. Now, did you watch the video earlier on? What an absolute cracking video that DJ Russie B did with Billy Horschel, the famous golfer who's very, very, very famous right now in the world of golf. What a video. There's the link. Go and click it. Go and watch it. What a great video. I'm so thankful that he took time to come onto the channel. I really, really hope you did go and check it out as well and enjoy it. Really cool. And please go across there and check it out. And then last but not least, thanks to my wife, we are selling these amazing products, which is, I'm going to get an image for you here. Where is it gone? Here it's coming. There. You can get your hands on a Christmas bauble handmade by my wife, and it will be personalized for you with a name and number on the back. Really cool Christmas gift or something cool for your Christmas trees coming up. So make sure you do get involved in that as well. Forge from Iron, which is Gatesy, get subscribed to the West Ham Network and get them to 9k. Great achievement. We need 12 more to hit 1k, and we hope to get there soon too. Good luck, Anton. Thank you very much, Gatesy. Go across there, talk to Gatesy, check them out, hit the subscribe button for them as well. Mate, good that you got it. Always happy when being able to educate what you're talking about. Steve Iron, 46-year-old billionaire invested in Royal Mail and Sainsbury's. Write letters and shop at Sainsbury's. Absolutely, mate. That brings an end to our show, our second daily of the day. I think it's our fourth show of the day. We're not doing the player ratings this evening. We decided not to do it because this story kind of trumped the player ratings, but we will be back for a lunchtime live tomorrow. Don't you worry, Stell is not pulling his weight, but he'll be pulling his weight soon. And Uncle Anton spoke to him today, gave him into trouble, and he'll be back in due course. Don't you worry. Make sure you do come on and join us on Saturday as well for the preview of the Aston Villa game. Anyway, stay safe. Keep yourselves washing your hands. Is that what Russ says? Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up. And let's see what happens with this. I don't think this is the end of this story. I think it's going to keep continuing. So it'll be interesting to see. And look what I've had going up in the top right-hand corner the whole show. How ridiculous. Oh, no, it's not. I've not. Ignore me, because that's the one I've been having on the whole show. Anyway, stay safe. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe, like, and comment.